Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Eva, and in this video I talk about my travel. And first I want to say it is so good to be back on YouTube because it was, for almost 5 month break, which is insane, and I missed YouTube so much. The reason why was because I went on an Asia trip, and before the Asia trip my camera broke. So, and I didn't want to buy a camera in Asia because if it doesn't work I cannot give it back, etc. So yeah, but I will be on YouTube a lot more. I love YouTube so much. It's my favorite social media form because it's just so cool to connect with you via this video format. So yeah, thank you so much for being on this channel with me. And in this video I just want to give you an update and want to talk about this Asia trip that I did. I went backpacking to Asia for 4.5 months, and I just want to share my experiences with you because it's been like a huge journey for me. It's been so crazy, and so I want to share it with you. So I actually went first. I flew to Bangkok, and so I'm just gonna share where I went and then talk a little bit how the journey was and what I did. So I first went to Bangkok, and Bangkok I was there for 5 nights. It was super overwhelming but super intriguing, and I was, oh my god, this is my first backpacking trip, solo backpacking trip. It's a completely different culture. I was just so excited about it. And then I went, after 5 days, I went to Chiang Mai, and Chiang Mai is a smaller city in the north of Thailand, and it's really nice. I really liked it because it's less humid. It was less humid, and also it's quite westernized, so there are quite a lot of digital nomads and expats from Europe, from the USA. So it was kind of easier for me to find people that I can connect with. And I was there actually for around over 1 month or longer, 1.5 months. I was in Chiang Mai, and it was just actually for the most part it was a really great time because it was me just first time being abroad, meeting a lot of people. Everything was exciting. I went to the markets, and especially the first month I was just so excited about everything. And then I went to Pai, which is like a village even more in the north of Thailand, and it was also kind of nice. I was still, back then I was so excited about everything, and when it was cold at night or whatever, it didn't really bother me. So that was really great. And then I went to a meditation retreat, and so I went to live with monks for a while, and that was really interesting as well. I could learn so much by being there, so that was definitely a highlight. It was super cheap as well. It was kind of donation basis, but that was really interesting. And that was my time in Chiang Mai, just me being excited, being in a different country, figuring things out, but also kind of noticing that I don't belong in Asia. I never felt that I would belong there. I always felt more like a tourist. And I think also back then I was kind of researching about Spain, about living in Spain, about maybe having a family in Spain. So just this inner desire of just Spain, Spanish culture, was definitely there. And while I was in Chiang Mai, I was not just traveling. I was also working. I finished my course, so I became a certified nutritionist, which is really exciting. Yeah, that was really cool. But so Chiang Mai I can recommend for anyone who's interested in Thai culture and a little bit more the original Thai culture with less tourism. Definitely go to Chiang Mai. It's a really cool place, and there was this La Krathong festival with, yeah, it was just really magical, really great. So that was really cool. But then I didn't do so well with the heat because it was just really hot, and I felt like I'm this polar bear out of place, kind of like I just don't belong there. So then after Chiang Mai I decided, because also my visa ran out, I was in Thailand and for 2 months, so I had to leave the country. So I flew to Malaysia, to Penang, and that's when the downhill a little bit started, because I went to Penang, and Penang is kind of a cultural mix of so many different cultures. I had the hostel that I was at was in like in the Indian quarter, and I was completely overwhelmed. Like, the people were so nice, but I was just so overwhelmed by the culture, by the city. It was just so much on my nervous system as well, and I think that's also when the real life realizations kind of started of just the reality, how different people live in different cultures, and that it's not like, of course it's not like you see on the postcards or on the travel prospects, but it's kind of a completely different life. So I felt just in Penang specifically this huge culture shock, and it was too much for me. I feel like, because also Malaysia was just kind of starting up to be open to tourists, and I just didn't feel like that I could stay there long term. So I think after a week I was, no, actually after 3 days I was like, no, I don't want to. So I was kind of trying to go back to Thailand and go to the islands. So I went to Koh Samui, and how I got there, it was really not the best idea, because I was kind of planning how I would get there. So I think the best idea would have been if I would have gone to a travel agency and just say, hey, I need to go from here to here, organize it for me. But it was my first backpacking trip, so I didn't even know that this is an option, kind of. So I just like researched on Google, and then I went with a travel agency, but just to a city which was called Hat Yai in the south of Thailand, to cross the border from Malaysia to Thailand. And I was again really just so much out of my comfort zone, just so overwhelmed with the situation as well. And then I made the mistake that I took the train from Hat Yai, so in the south of Thailand, to Surat Thani, which is kind of in the middle of Thailand. And from Surat Thani you go to the islands. And the mistake that I did, but I didn't know, so I arrived, the train that I wanted to take, it was already taken. So I had to take a train a little bit later in the day, and there was only afternoon trains, so you would arrive only kind of late in the evening. And then the train had delay as well, so I just arrived so late in the evening, like I think at 11 at night, and I imagined that this train station would be so big and that there would be so many people, but it was so small. So it turned out that I just randomly met an older guy from UK, and thankfully with him I could share a taxi and go to the hostel. But the whole train ride I was just so nervous, so out of my comfort zone, just crying, because I was just not sure, will I get a taxi and stuff. So it was just too much for me, and I think that's when my anxiety started. So that's when the kind of downhill started a little bit. But I arrived safely in Surat Thani. Then I took the ferry to go to Koh Samui, which is an island on the east coast of Thailand, and I stayed there for a couple of days. But I was really, since that train ride, actually I was really dealing with anxiety. But I was, hey, it's my travel, it's alright. And then I went discovered Koh Samui a little bit. Then I went to another island which is quite close. It's called Koh Phangan. And there as well, I just felt this anxiety, and I slowly started to get homesickness as well. I feel it was just so many impressions, and it was just such a big travel for my first solo ever trip. So it was just a lot as well. So many realizations, especially that train ride, how shitty it is sometimes to be a woman, like how easily it is to get raped, how easily it is to get assaulted, how easily it is to put yourself into dangerous situations, and how just different cultures handle different with women rights. I think Thailand is quite great. I think Malaysia maybe as well, but just this safety aspect, and I think that's when I really just missed a person, a guy, a male person, or like a female person but with a male body, just who can protect me. I just really felt that I didn't have this protection in a way. So I just didn't feel safe, even though probably I was safe because I was in hostels. I didn't really go out at crazy partying, or I didn't took any drugs or something like that. So I was safe, but I just didn't feel safe. And that feeling, it just stayed with me, unfortunately, until the end of my trip. I just tried to make it work. I was like, hey, I really saved up money, worked a lot for this trip. I really want to do it. So in Koh Phangan, I kind of explored the island. But I don't know, my mental health was not the best. Then Christmas came, and I just really started to miss my family so much. And also, I have to say, I was before I did this Asia trip, I just randomly met a guy and we started dating, and I think I really fell in love with this guy a little bit, or I had a really big crush on him, and so we were texting all the time. But the longer I stayed away, the less we texted, and obviously he found a new person, which is great for him. Really, really happy for him because he's an amazing person. But it was just the safety. Like I felt like he was my safety rock of solo traveling. That because there are so many guys and people flirt with you, and it was just so much. And I felt like, okay, at least I have this rock, this safety, and when I feel insecure, I just text him. And yeah, so that kind of played into it. And however, I didn't want to go home yet because it was I just worked so hard for this trip. So I went like I explored Koh Phangan, and it's actually a really nice island. Really beautiful nature, really beautiful. And after that I went to Koh Tao, and it was around New Year's. And I was really lucky because the hostel was a hostel, and it was owned by Spanish guys and Argentinian guys, and it just gave me a lot of comfort because my ex-boyfriend was kind of Spanish, the guy I was dating was Latin, so I just really missed that Spanish energy, and it really just grounded me in some ways. But I still dealt with this anxiety. And yeah, but I stayed there. Koh Tao is a really, really cute island. It's quite small. Nature is so great. And I tried freediving there. I tried a snorkel trip there. And so yeah, it should have been really great. It was just I dealt with this anxiety. But still, I didn't want to go back. And then I was not sure. Okay, it was already 1 month past. So I was, okay, what should I do? Should I go back home, which probably would have been a good decision, but I was, I can still extend my visa another month, and I had no idea what to do. And I think that's also solo traveling, is because you have so many decisions that you take: where to go, where to sleep, which flight to take, when to go where. There's so many decisions, and you don't know what decision is the right one, and you cannot know, and it's not possible to make always the right decisions. So I was, okay, I just stay another month. So I don't know, I stayed another month, and I went actually to Koh Samui. And from there I was, okay, I just stay in Koh Samui for a while, and then I see what I'm gonna do. So I went to Koh Samui, and it was already my complete nervous system, I think it was shut down, because it was just so much new things I learned. Riding a scooter, so many impressions you meet when you go solo traveling, you meet so many people, and I think just I was completely overwhelmed. And I then the guy that I was dating texted me eventually. Yes, he found a new person, so that was kind of the last straw that broke for my mental health, because I think that just my security, like I used him as a security, kind of as like he being the person that I could text when something doesn't go well and stuff. So he was not there anymore, and I felt like, oh my god, this whole, like I just felt so unsafe, so insecure, so lost. I felt just so lost and so sad as well. Of course, I mean, I really wanted to try something with him, but just feel really lost, really sad. And I was, okay, I'm here for 1 more month. This is the perfect opportunity to work on my business. So I was, okay, I feel sad. I cannot, it's just too much emotions. I cannot feel it, just work through it. Also bad decision. So I just worked, I think probably 14 hours a day just to not feel. I was so sick of feeling sad, of feeling anxiety. I was just so sick of feeling. I just wanted to go, those feelings to go away. So I just started to work and work and work and work. But obviously, if you just push emotions, if you want to push them away by, in my case, I try to do it with overworking, and other people smoke or drink or take weed and stuff like this. They will explode. I mean, sooner or later, they will just, when you don't acknowledge emotions, they will become bigger and they become this monster, and they try, like, it just feels like they want to, like really take your whole body. And that's what I felt. I got anxiety attacks. It was really, really, really tough. Like, I just felt you. I mean, I don't know if you ever experienced something like an anxiety attack or a panic attack or something like that, but it's really a fight. It felt like a fight. And I was really sad. I was really, really, really sad. And I think maybe people who have experienced like maybe depression, sadness, they know that it's really something tough to deal with. It's like an inner voice that is telling you terrible things, and you have to fight against that voice. So that was me for the last month, to be honest, for over 1 month probably. I don't know why I didn't go back home earlier. I don't know why. But I just thought I need to struggle. So, but I started then like a therapy course, how to deal with emotions. It became better. And then I actually, at the end, I was really happy for my final step going to Bangkok and then flying home from Bangkok. But because I was just dealing with so much emotional stuff, I think my body just shut down. So I got food poisoning, which was really tough, and then I just got really sick because I think my body was just so done and was just so exhausted by having those anxiety attacks and panic attacks. So I think my body was just not being able to cope anymore. So I got really sick. So I got sick when I went to Bangkok, and it was just a really tough time because I was sick, but I was just having panic of not making that flight home to Germany. So I was sick, but I also, when you're on your own, when you're backpacking on your own, there's no one who gets you food. So you have to get food on your own, and if you don't go out, you don't get food, kind of. So it was just, yeah, it was just really, really scary, really difficult, and I had to push through it. But I did. So then I took my, oh my god, my brother is next to the window, but he goes away. So yeah, it was really tough, but then finally I took that flight home. I don't even know how I got to the airport, to be honest. It was really tough. I got the flight home to Germany, and now I'm here at my parents' place, and it's really healing. I think for the first 6 days after I got to Germany, I just slept. I just slept 24 hours basically because my body was just so exhausted from that sadness, from that panic, from that anxiety, from that emotions, from that sickness. And so it was, yeah, it's like the trip started so great and it ended really in a catastrophic way, kind of. But I'm grateful. I mean, I met so many people actually who had scooter accidents, who broke something, who took magic mushrooms and had terrible experiences and stuff like this. So I'm just happy, like I didn't took any magic mushrooms or drugs or stuff like this. I'm just happy that I survived. So I think I just want to share that because when I started this solo trip, I was, oh, it's so easy, and I was so naive, but there's so much terribleness in this world, and I think just this trip was just a shock about what's actually happening in different cultures. And yo, so no way, I'm happy to be here in Germany right now. I will see what I'm going to do in the future. I really love Spain. I miss Spain so much. So I will see if I will eventually move to Spain completely or if I will stay in Germany, because just my part of my heart is just Spanish, and I will see how I will do it. But yeah, so my advice for people who want to do a solo backpacking trip, maybe people are so different. For me, it was completely overwhelming in the end, and I'm not like this kind of adventurous person. Like, I like stability, I like nice clothes, I like kind of some adventure, but also a lot of stability. So really, maybe if it's your first backpacking trip, don't overwhelm yourself, and just know that you can go back anytime. Yeah, so that's really it. So that's why that was my trip. I think it will take me more time to reflect, to learn, but I'm getting there. So thank you so much for watching. If you have maybe similar experiences, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment sections. I'm gonna do more videos in the future. I'm so excited to do videos. I missed it so much. If you want to learn more about me, and especially if you want to learn more about the fruit-based lifestyle, becoming more vibrant, being healthy, then definitely check out my website. It's fruityeva.com. Check out my Instagram. I have great ebooks. You can have a discount, 40% off with the code LOVE. So definitely check it out. Links are in the description box. And thank you so much for watching.